going on, everyone? Who's ready for the start of new week? Crypto traders never get time off, but stock market traders, we get some time off, guys. That's why it's the best market, yeah? All right, let's get started, but first the intro. See you very soon, guys. Oh, hello there, guys. How are you going? Are you enjoying the pre-market so far? I don't think many people are, but who is ready for another new week? Who's ready to see what happens here for Bitcoin, for the cryptos, for the stock market, and of course, another large earnings? I know that it was a long weekend. It was too long. 2 days off. We don't have any days off here. We just keep going. We keep grinding that content, keep grinding for you guys in the community. I hope everyone's doing well today. Let's do a quick shout out here. People saying no new memes. That's right. No new memes, Donk and Dave. Tomorrow, new memes. There's not enough new memes in the meme community in Discord. Remember, !Discord will give you the link to the free public section. And if you ever want to join the private section, you can do so through YouTube or, of course, over at fxevolution.com. I did the weekly hangout today. Make sure you go and watch that weekly hangout. There's some good stuff that, I share a lot with you guys, but sometimes we keep it a little bit back. Sometimes we've got to keep some secret sauce, yeah? Little bit of secret sauce, 90% out there. That's what I always say. It's that last 10% though that, it does the business. It does the business. All right. Saturday Night Live. Bump, bump, bump. Terrible crap. Other words, but luckily the community was smart. Guys, did anyone actually hold Doge, whatever we want to call it, through the Saturday Night Live before we get started? Look at the Doge. Look what happened. Absolute flop. Even Elon saying you can go to the moon and go to Mars and go to space with the Doge did not hold it through. And I just think that's the difference between many people out there and the difference between the community, the chat, and you guys, and the big brains that we have here. Because we didn't fall into the trap of, by the fact, we knew when the market moves before, and it moves so heavily before, the fact sucks. What was the fact going to be? Him sitting on TV doing some stuff. It's not going to work out. I didn't even watch it. I'm sure it was scary. Was it scary, guys? Tell me. Was it? I better watch the highlights maybe after this stream. But I certainly did not watch that. I was no way near going to go near something something like that one. Oh, no way. ATX mised $5. Hello, my dude. Hope things are well. Could you have a look at my favorite crypto AMP? I certainly can. ATX mised. We'll do that in just a few moments. Thanks for getting the super chart started. Ooh, I'm feeling energized. Guys, damn. Feeling good. I think I'm ready for that AMP, actually, ATX. We'll have a look at it very, very soon. So don't worry about the Doge. The Doge has moved down. Will there be spurts in it? Of course. Will it do well? Yeah, maybe. But let's talk about the crypto market, then the stock market, then, of course, our general stuff. So first up, BTC. Not BNB just yet, BTC. Can we understand what's going on here? No. hey, maybe you know what's going on here. I don't. It looks ridiculous. It's ridiculous, guys. Ridiculous. It's everywhere. It's up, down. It does what it feels like. It is a mad scientist, BTC, right now, and I'm not really too much of a fan of it. I'm actually just going to put my 60,000 down. There we go. And I don't care about in here. Of course, I'm long. I've got the long optimism. We're all bulls. But I don't really care what it's doing right now. It's not important. Let's talk about Ethereum. Madness. Look at it go. We did speculate last week that Ethereum could be worth $4,700 at this BTC price. Ethereum is actually impressing me a lot. It's impressing me almost too much. I feel like we're at a point where it's like too much. It's maybe a little bit of excess going here. 4,000 is good. 4,700 is scary. And of course, ratios are important. BTC remains the one you should be looking at. Let's have a quick look as a community. I want to just quickly read some comments here, though. Let's see what people thought about Saturday Night Live. Saturday Night Live ruled in the 70s and 80s, says Broke Stocker. Yes. To the moon, someone said. Cringe fest, says Left Field. I'm sure it was. Rob says Shibcoin. Yeah, I saw Shibcoin. And the second Doge. Second Doge. If you're not sure what it is, it's basically a picture of Shibuya. Shibuya. Whatever it is. Grew up on Saturday Night Live. Not bad show. Okay. It was hilarious CFA. So it held up. Okay. People are feeling good about it. So let's just quickly go back over here on the weekly. I still haven't watched it though. But that's all right. I think, we hit that resistance here. I actually thought it would maybe find a little bit bigger of a problem. If this continues in its trend, do we think it can hit these peaks? Look, at some point, it's going to break the trend. Have we broken the trend? No. Are we still going towards these high numbers, guys? Yeah, we are. As a community, we're going higher towards these numbers. I go back over to ETH, though, and I think the way I look at it is you scroll through the timeframes and you say, which moving averages has this thing been unable to break significantly? And I think you would all agree that the 50 moving average on the 2 hour certainly hasn't broken. You could even go to a 3 hour and you could say, okay, I'm going to use the secret sauce here, 3 hour 20 exponential, no break underneath. So if we get a break underneath, what does that mean? I think that means that the run is over. And right now we're riding the smooth sail up, but the run will be over and it will start to do this. It'll start to do it because remember, we always go through the steps. The first step of service is BTC. The second, say it with me, guys, is Ethereum. The third is big alts, which is still coming in. We'll talk about big alts in a second. And the fourth is crap coins, CCs. Look at the crap coins. The crap coins are not doing anything. They're boring. No one likes the crap coins. ADA, one of the big alts, still doing quite well. Has not reached quite the 195 that I was hoping for, but it still looks pretty strong. Obviously coming down to support now. There's been a bit of selling here today. DOT all over the place. Went up to 4170. Then it's just sold off recently. Had that 44 run on it the other day when we were talking about it. DOT's still relatively weak in the market. But I want to talk to you about Binance Coin, because I think Binance Coin is going to move. And I want to know what the community thinks about this. Does Binance Coin move, guys? This one here, it's like a sleeper in plain sight. Because what's been going on here with Binance Coin? It's been breaking a significant level. And it's been grinding higher and, more importantly, relatively speaking, holding its own. So Binance Coin has broken through the 600. It's gone up to the 679, 680 area. It's sold off a little bit. It's actually 4 hour double bottomed here on the pullback. So you've got the bottom, you've got the breakout, and you can see it just found support. So is this the sleeper in plain sight? Remember, often this is how it happens in the market. Is Binance Coin undervalued? I mean, they're all ridiculously valued on where I think they're going to be in 12, 18 months. However, and you may disagree with me on that, but that's all right. We can disagreements about 12 to 18 months. Who cares? We're right here, right now, yeah? So this could move quite a lot. And I think Binance ETH is going to be most likely where we see the ratios come through. And I want to go to the weekly here. We go to the weekly together, 0.16. Where is this getting dangerously close to? The previous peaks. We know we tracked Ethereum like this. We found Ethereum had gone ridiculous ratio versus BTC and it was trending up. So right now this is trending down, but it's in the zone where it could all turn around. So I think the Binance coin could be the sleeper in plain sight that we're moving forward with. BNB has less room to grow, so I'll stay away. Of course, but depends how much percentage that you want. Do you want 20%? Do you want 15%? Cameron Chevrolet says sleeper up 1,300% in 2 months. Man, it's not about how much they're up in like whatever time. It's about what the market capitalizations do in terms of the ratios, yeah? So there's tons, almost all the coins are up a ridiculous amount. How much is Doge up? Doge is up huge amounts. And it's just about where is it now in comparison to the other big ones. So if we get a big alt through here, then it's moved. Plus it's got a sneaker. BNB slow and steady wins the race. Hey, it's not going to get you 2x, 3x, 5x. I'm just saying it's right around the ratio. That's like 30 billion market cap. Yeah, it's huge. I mean, it's already 100 billion market cap, this one. But remember, Ethereum was 250, 300 billion just the other day, and then it moved through. Look, yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking. So, yeah, I don't mind BNB. I think it's all right. Link, of course, one that's moving through here relatively well, still trading around the 50. I'm not too interested at this level. I think that it's kind of had that movement up. It did try to break out just before. You'll notice it's broken out kind of a little bit here, and it's pulled back. Link does have some good opportunity in it, but for me, probably moved a little bit too fast. You guys are talking about XLM. Look, XLM, yeah, I see the breakout. This coin, it's significant breakout. This coin is behind. It's been very boring for a long time. You'll notice it pulled back here, but it was actually 14th of April. It was at these highs. Let's have a look at the weekly, just to put it in perspective. So it had this big run on it in 18. I remember that. And then it had this run in it at Feb, and it's just made new highs off Feb. So it's been a pretty boring coin. I definitely think there's opportunity here, and that is a significant breakout. So you take the distance and you say, where is it going to go? Of course, just underneath the dollar. So if you like this type of one, sure, it's another opportunity. How much percentage is here? There's more percentage. Kind of like when we were looking at Cardano the other day, you've got a very similar type of percentage increase, about 35%. What's Binance's increase? Probably more like 20, 25%. This one, 35%. Pick your poison. It's the one. They're all going to move in unison. You could buy the index of them and they'd move. So yeah, it's interest. All aboard the vet bus. Yep, vet's fine as well. Another one that's very good. This again broke out. I actually think this should have moved more significantly. I think it's struggling a little bit in the market, but I like this a lot. 2 resistances, comes back, tests it, just waiting for that high of the 25. But yeah, I'm already committed, if you want to say, to the vet bus. So the vet bus is a thing. Agrees on Doji. It will jump up again, says Sherlock Holmes. It's interesting to see so much opinions in this type of stuff at the moment. So yeah, we'll get over to the stocks in just a few minutes. Obviously, Binance, I still think is not bad. I think it's slow and steady wins the race. You've got your XLM break. That could go all the way to 95 to 98 cents. And then, of course, you've got your VET and your BAT. Yes, I saw the BAT move. BAT did already break out a little bit. Now, is this the right BAT? I think it's the right BAT. I can't remember. Yeah, BAT broke out through this resistance. It sold off a little bit. I think that's the one. Yeah, not bad. It's all good. They are all very, very similar patterns. Okay. You guys can't wait for the market. It's all right. We always do the crypto in the morning. Excuse me. Oh, that was a bit bad. Let's do AMP just because we did get asked for that. This was from ATX Mized, super chatted $5 and asked for it. Let me just quickly also make sure that all these are working. That's working, and perfect. That's working as well. AMP on the Gemini exchange. This has been a popular one with you for quite some time. Great breakout that happened through that May period as well. Let's go back over to the daily just to show how well this thing has traded. So it traded amazingly here, which we all talked about on the stream. It then broke out. It's recently broken out, and now it's consolidating in a flag style like pattern. So if we go down to the 4 hour, we think about where it is, 0.073, of course, aiming for the magical 0.1. And yeah, this looks great. I mean, if you were looking at it, you would say that's flagging. Go down to like a 2 hour, very similar type of thing. Yeah, it looks really, really good. This AMP coin continues to present for you, it looks like. I don't mind it at all. You could almost say it's already broken with these types of breaks because they can also look very different. I prefer they break the previous peak over here. So like that 0.075, and then you can take them long. So yeah, AMP looks good. Thank you very much, ATXmized. There's nothing to be too concerned about. You've got your wicks here, which are all showing bullish pressure in the market. It's breaking out. The rest of the market's kind of weak and all over the place. So again, it's really finding its own support. Okay, don't worry, guys. We're going through now to the markets, okay? The markets. What's going on with the markets? This is probably the most interesting chart. The US 100 and what's going on with the Nasdaq. So we're on here, the futures. Let's go to a 4 hour chart in the futures because I want to show what the indecision that's really going on right now. And it is very hard to read. There's no doubt this market is hard to read. And it's probably why it's got less interest in it from me other than specific stocks, because I think last week we got this great opportunity. And this great opportunity was down to like that 13.3, 13.4. We know this was the distance. This week we open at a very convoluted space. We've got the SP500 at new all-time peaks. We've got the Nasdaq flailing behind it, and we've got these two rejection wicks that came through the Friday session. Now, we were perfectly spot on the Friday session. We saw the pullback that occurred, of course, that got back in here during the open session. We saw how that pulled up. I'm just going to show everybody that missed this because it's really important to see it. We had the non-farm payroll. We had that initial boost that happened pre-market. Then it sold off initially just before the market, kind of opened around here, came back down to this level, and that presented a pretty good day trade opportunity. And that's what I think the market is at right now. I think it's at day trading and scalping opportunities from an index base. Do we have a clear direction? Not really. Go back over to that 4 hour, two rejections, closure right here. Now, if we get another closed low, let's say we take out this low here. So we just go a little bit lower than this low. I think we could go all the way back down to 13.4 in the Nasdaq. Is it the strongest signal in the world? No. It's not the one that I would take, but that's the type of feeling that I get from that type of move. That's the type of feeling that I get from it. Do I trade something like that? I always go with this. You know, I guess you guys need to understand this, that not every day is not a trade day. That sounds boring, yeah? You think, Tom, you're a moron. Why are you saying that every day is not a trade day? Every day is a trade day. I take 10 trades a day, man. Yeah, but that's probably why some of you lose. Most traders, most big, like longer term successful ones, the way they do it is they don't take that much. Okay, you don't need to take a huge amount of trades. You just need to sniff out the high probability positions. And sometimes there's a great position that you see and you've got the odds stacked in your favor because that's what trading is. And sometimes you just see this coin flip where you're pretty sure it's going to go away. I could say something about it and then, you know, it does work out and you think, oh, I missed that opportunity. Well, there's another one tomorrow. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Most days are charting, says Sherlock Holmes. Exactly. That's probably why your name's Sherlock Holmes, because you're sniffing them out. You're getting the magnifying glass out. You're getting the clues, but you're not converting on those clues yet. You don't want to put the wrong person in jail, do you, Sherlock? You don't want to put the wrong person in jail. So 13673, this is actually leading up to potentially being a little bit weaker. Let's go over here to the QQQ. Let's have a look at what everybody loves to look at. And why do I go over to this chart? Because look, it instantly takes away all of that crap that we were seeing on the futures market. The futures market was showing us strangeness. It was giving us fake signals, fake news in the charts effectively. This market is not giving us as much fake news. When you look at that, I feel good. I feel good. I feel clean. This is clean eating right here. We have support, support, support. We have two moving averages, a 20 and a 50. We have a rejection candle, and we're right at the point of indecision. Now, you can see the market's down, pre-market down. But let's think about two scenarios here. I want two scenarios. Scenario one, we break above this high. Now, I want the big brains in the community. I want the members, the chat. You guys tell me what's going to happen if we break that high. We break that high, two things happen. You tell me right now what those two things are. I'm going to read the chat while you guys tell me what's going on. Colin Iverson says, don't overtrade. Always lose except for brokers. True. The nasty brokers, like Nasty Wall Street, will win when you overtrade. Because you constantly trade, then you revenge trade, and it's like this self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, realistically, the broker would actually prefer you're profitable because why? You stay in the game longer. They make the money off the transaction. They don't care whether you win or lose, really, but they make a lot of money if you're just constantly going in and out. But again, if you were there for the long term, it's actually better for them, better for you. And that's why you see some brokers investing in education for you as well. So here's what people are going to go here. So stop loss is gone, correct? Amish Cyborg says, I lose money when that candle gets taken out. Okay, sorry, Amish, sorry. And yes, we'll get on to gold and silver. Don't worry, guys. I know where gold and silver are. They're just underneath. It's all good. Yeah, so this, if we take out this up here, we're effectively taking out shorter stop losses because there are going to be a lot of people here. And I think the move goes straight back into these highs, okay? So there's actually day trade opportunity there. It's pretty significant. It's a much better kind of opportunity because you're really seeing that confirmation of the market's made a decision. Here it looks weak. Here it's at the right level of support, 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 and resistance. And when we break through that stop loss, effectively, or that area there, effectively we start pushing and we push to the next zone, and the next zone is right up and through here. Now, if we reject through here and we get a little closure underneath these points, what we're saying is we're saying these dynamic moving averages, the 20 and the 50 moving average, exponentials, our favorite, they're too strong. They're pushing the market down. So this is actually the chart I'm really looking at. This, or you can just use the NDX, whatever you prefer with the numbers. QQQ is just what obviously a lot of Americans invest in. And 13725, it's the exact same chart. You can see it here. So indecision there on the Nasdaq. We move over to the SP 500. And in the SP 500, we have a breakout long. Confusing. So we're talking about weakness in the Nasdaq, the biggest sector in the S&P 500, and then we're talking about S&P 500 strength. How does that make any sense? It doesn't really, does it? But that is what is happening. So I'm I got asked this question today, and the person's probably watching the stream. They know who it is, and they said, Tom, what do you think about the market this week? And they said, bullish or bearish? And I said, can I be neutral this week? Can I be completely neutral on the market? Because I don't, yes, I've got longs. Yes, I'm optimistic about the markets and blah, 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 blah. But realistically, what is the point of me investing here? I don't care about investing here because it's not the index, that is, because this isn't cool. I think this is a market where you have to pick the specific stocks that you're looking at. And when you pick the specific stocks, then you've got the opportunity. So we'll talk about that in just a few moments. But yes. Justin V says, I literally have to sell my PLTR Leap now. Wall Street Bets get a hold of it, and YouTube, I didn't even know, lol. Oh. Sorry about that, Justin. That's not good. I'm feeling puts on QQQ lately, says J-Dub. A few people talking about Shiba. Yeah. We get all-time high if it breaks, says J-Dub. Yeah, I think that's probably what's going to happen from the US 100. So I'm probably laser focused on the US 100 less than this market, because if you're thinking about the S&P 500, you're just really taking this distance and you're saying this is as high as we go. Do I care about that percentage? Some of you will go, oh, Tom, I love 1.38%. it doesn't really excite me that much. We're going into the trend line. The community trend line still technically holds. I mean, this thing has just been grinding higher over time. Look at it, guys. It's beautiful. The beautiful trend line of gods still continuously holds. So this still could be negative. And thank you very much as well to the 1,278 viewers coming in today for Monday. I hope you guys are enjoying the stream so far. We've got plenty of fire to continue going through. Also, thank you, ATX Mized, for the super chat. I appreciate you getting it started. Rodrigo says, I bought Ethereum and Cardano 1 week ago. Well done, Rodrigo. You're doing well. Donkin Dave says, hold those PLTR leaps. Hopefully. Will earnings have any impact on PLTR? Yes. I mean, they always will have impact. So let's just quickly go over the earnings for this week as well. It brings us on to the next section. What have we got going on here, guys? Well, we have a week of smaller companies than we're used to. Smaller than that crazy week 2 weeks ago. Oh my God, that was mad. So we've got some batteries coming out today. We've got a bunch of other things. Roblox, which some of you guys do like. So we've got that one. Maybe we can have a look at that later. We've got the Wynn Resorts, which will be interesting. And then we have Palantir before Market Tuesday. Now, Palantir has what you could only call a very scary looking chart. And it can only be fixed by good earnings. It has to have good earnings. That chart looks terrible, really, when you look at it. Then we've got Nanox, which we've talked about a few times on this stream. That'll be an interesting one. Lemonade, a few people. Sundial. Just fixing the chart there for you guys. Just getting that one done. EA. Actually, I'll fix that as well. There we go. Fixing those ones up. And then we've got Sonos. That's a company I haven't looked at in a long time. And Alibaba Group, Walt Disney, Airbnb for Thursday. So it's probably still really a super Thursday more than any other day. We've luckily gotten rid of some of the bad companies here. We've erased them from the list. In fact, they should be blocked out. But I think you guys know that they're terrible. Like, we got rid of them. Quick smart. Trade Desk is coming out in the middle of the day. PLTR is absolutely going a little lower, says Scott Barker. Well, some people will not like you for that one, Scott. Some people will not like you for that one. Richie, neither does SHIB. Yes, I see the SHIB. It just keeps going. What's going on with PayPal and Square? Yeah, so look, PayPal and Square and all of these stocks, effectively, you can see it on the charts here. I think pre-market was a little bit down there for Square before. We'll have a look at that in a minute. But this kind of reminds me of Palantir. It's like every day there's optimism, and then by the end of the day, in the pre-market, by the end of the day, it's negative. That's not really what you want to see on a chart, guys. Like, look at this. It's hideous. Why are there so many red? We need a green day on Square. Square cannot seem to hold the pre-market into the closed session. And we all know that the only important thing for Square now is 240. 240, 240, 240, 240. The earnings are over. They were okay. And this zone here, once it breaks out here, I'm sure participation is going to come back in. So this is the type of area, 20 and the 50 on the daily. We get through, participation comes in, and we can go back on to test our 260 and then our 280. Basically, every 20 bucks matters on Square. Look where it stops. It stopped just underneath 220, but 220 is a buy zone, 200, 220, 240, 260, 280, 300, etc., etc. Conscious says PLTR taking off. Nobody's looked at the institutions taking bigger positions last week. Yeah, so Palantir, let's have a quick look at Palantir. Load it up. 1975, everyone, in the pre here. So 1975, it's unfortunate. If we're talking about volumes and you're going through the daily here, obviously it took a lot to get it through this point because there would have been a lot of purchasing and selling here. So right here, this took a lot. And you can see the volume did spike over that day. Then we had another large volume day with relatively small amounts of move. So I think today maybe you will see what Palantir is all about. If there's some kind of loose lips and everybody's looking forward to the next big move and they think it's going to go back up and through, then you're going to see that here today. But from a pure price action standpoint, this is a horrid chart. There's no other way of looking at it. If you showed me this chart, you showed anyone this chart that's done TA for a long time, I mean, it's hard to say. Like, be honest with me, guys. Does anyone think that looks strong? Does anyone think that looks strong? Community, tell me. I don't think it looks strong. It's underneath our 20, our magical 20. But can it be saved by surprise earnings? Yes. Mark puts it as best you can, Mark. Falling knife, yeah. Is SHIB going that nuts right now? Let me just load this damn SHIB coin up. Oh, it's still going. My God. The SHIB coin. Look at it go. So it's become tradable just on these recently, I assume, and that's why it's running through. Yeah. Point millions of zeros, 3-4. Stupid SHIB coin. I'd call it mangled. Yeah, it really looks weak. And I guess there's two ways to look. Do you want to catch the falling knife? If you're in it, you're in it. And if you believe, that's fine. But if you want to trade something like this, most traders that have been in the game for a long time, they don't buy this zone. They don't just go, oh, I'm going to buy it because I believe in it. Now, if you're willing to hold it, it's different. But trading and holding are different things. So you would need this to break back through 21. And what that would show, like it usually does something like this. Boom. Okay, boom. Let's get back. Let's get down to business. If you get my reference, Tiesto song. Let's get down to business at 21. Because at 21, we've got the trough, we've got the peak, we've got the higher trough, and then we get the higher peak, and we can break it on through. So I think that's the type of thing I look for here in Palantir. Even if it has a good earnings, it's still going to shoot up, like, yes, $1.25, $1.50. That's going to be great, but it is going to find some resistance selling here. People will take profit off there, and you can make even more money by being the smart panda that waits for the confirmation signal. That's the way I kind of think about it. Triple T Rock says, got out of PLTR and get on the SHIB. Duh. Let me just have a look at the SHIB. Let me refresh this. Oh, wow. It's gone up a lot more than I thought it has. I'm actually not unhappy about this. I was looking at SHIB right here. The SHIB's okay. I didn't even know it got through so many of my alerts. But yes, it has gone very, very well. I had a little bit of a nap before, so that was good. But yeah, all right, cool. This thing's ridiculous. Market fully diluted market cap. This must be close to over. I'll have to get rid of it soon. Goodbye, SHIB. Goodbye, sir. We're done. It's too close now. 17 is way too large. You know, this coin's one thing, but then to have this coin coming through so hard as well, I think it would have to stop somewhere around 15 to 20 bill. Just being added to a whole bunch of networks, which is what's pushing it at the moment. It's certainly very, very, very speculative. It's a shibby baby, Sherlock Holmes says. Yeah, listed on Binance today. Yeah, it was always going to be listed. It had to be because it's too much for brokers. It's too much money. It's too much money, and that was really the only thing left. I looked at how many. What I do sometimes with cryptos is you have a look at a crypto, and you click on the stupid thing, and then you go down through, and I just look how many markets there are, and if there's not enough markets for it, then the opportunity for new markets to be open. And what do people in crypto like more than anything else? New market added. It just goes ballistic. Where do you get the SHIB? Well, at the moment, you can get the SHIB on Binance. You can get the SHIB on all these ones, KuCoin, etc. KuCoin is the one that I was also looking at, but it's like not very good confidence-wise. I don't really know. I mean, for me, I just use kind of anything that gives me the option to get into stuff. My goodness. Now, we were having a look at some metals. Let's go around some metals here for the community. So, 1,368 of you. Hopefully, you guys are doing well. Platinum here, 1,273. This is a very nice movement. And I think platinum's super behind the curve right now in the metals. So, we've got our gold and we've got our silver. Silver going towards the 28. Gold, of course, hanging around the 1840. 1850 is still a problem for gold. We'll talk about that in a second. But platinum. This chart looks really, really great. So we originally got platinum here on the break. I remember this well. We did it live with the community. We talked about it in Feb. It was a great little kind of opportunity. Now, I think platinum is presenting right now. Long leg doji, about to get daily break above, serious resistance point, psychological 1250, and 1300 is the next zone. I don't care about 1300 anymore for platinum. I think platinum goes to the next area. You know why I like this metal a little bit more? Is because it's the sleeper metal that no one cares about. Let's have a look at this weekly. Lots and lots and lots and lots of accumulation going on through here, you would like to think, based on the fact that there's a lot of those wicks. Then we go over to the monthly, and it presents here as well. We've got long leg doji, rejection candle, and right now what looks like bullish movement. Now, we're still very early in the month, but this is the type of thing I like to look for. And then you go back out the higher time frames, and you go, whoa, look how high platinum's been in the past. We've had a 1600. We've had an 1825. Could it be the secret metal that hasn't been traded recently in the bullish side? I think it certainly looks a lot stronger than some people are giving it credit for. So, yeah, it looks pretty good. Triple T Rock says Pokecoin been crushing for real, though it has been. I thought it was Pokeball. Isn't it Pokeball? Isn't that the one's been crushing recently? Tom Zom still ripping. Yeah, there's a lot of these things still going, guys. But yeah, I quite like platinum. Silver, 28, 28, 28. That's really all that matters here on the market. So we just go straight to the 28. That's the resistance that we're looking at. And then if it breaks through there, of course, we go to the 30. And if it breaks through there, to the moon, truly on silver, because you could go to like 48, 49. I'm not even kidding. There's no history that just said once it got through 30 that it hasn't moved to a serious 40 number. So still could be a great opportunity here for people in silver moving forward, depending on the manipulation. 1841 on gold. I think it has problems with 1850 at the moment, just because right around here, we've got a 200 simple moving average daily. It's no real joke. 200 simple moving average is still a pretty key level at a resistance. Once it gets through there, though, I expect something like this. Bang, comes back, retests it as support because it's a slow moving average. I think then 1875 on the swing and then 1900 plus after that. So I think 1875 on the swing could be another opportunity for people moving forward in gold. I quite like what the setups are here. Nothing bad. Go over to US oil. So US oil still trying to break past the 66. 75 is our next zone. And whenever we look at the energy sector, which we'll go over the sectors in the stock market in just a few moments, they're just kicking ass, guys. They're kicking ass. And why? I did it in the private room today in my hangout. I bought this up. I'll share it with you guys. So I want to show you this chart, and I want to do it because it needs to prove a point. And that point is that we have been behind on energy stocks. So there are energy stocks right now that are superiorly depressed when compared to oil, the price of the barrel, and when compared to really where they should be in the markets. And why is this? Because energy stocks, a lot of them had no cash flow for some time. So you need to look at their cash flow, but this is fuel. This is an exchange traded fund of energy stocks, big ones. It's in Australia. I don't particularly condone it or anything, but it's just something that brings my point up. Now, you'll notice here that we haven't even tested this fiver. So we're still at the 448. And it kind of looks like Exxon when you look at the charts, because all of them still have some room to go. So everyone's on metals right now, and I don't blame them. I love metals and materials. And today I was looking at iron ore, I almost had tears in my eyes. It was so good. The iron ore was moving like a beast, and we'll look at that soon. But 450 was beautiful resistance. Then $5 is the next resistance, and that's still nothing to sneeze at. It's another 10% on the entire index, let alone the opportunity. So it's pretty good. Conscious says like button, folks. Thank you so much there, Conscious. Appreciate that. Appreciate that very much. Got to catch them all, says Sherlock Holmes. Exactly. You got to catch them all when it comes to the crypto coins. Basically, every stupid crypto coin you can think of that has shiny stuff, that has names to do with kind of memes and things. It's going well. I think it's very close, though, to that kind of thing popping over. Oliver Quinn brings up a stock that I might look at, Lulu. Let's have a look at Lulu. Lulu Athletica. So this stock we did look at some time ago, and we had a breakout on it, which was here. And then we saw the pullback opportunity, and then we took it long into this action here. This actually was done on the stream from a super chat. That was really cool trade, and congratulations. Yeah, Lulu presented a great opportunity. You had a long leg doji, and now you've had a breakout here. And I think even with the pullback, there's a good chance that it will continue on up. Consumer discretionary, I'm pretty bullish on still, even though it's moved so heavily. Now, do I think it deserves to be over here's price, or with the declines that have occurred on it? I think we need to put things in perspective. When we go to the weekly chart, so it was coming through really strong into the pandemic. Then, of course, it bounced heavily during the pandemic. And I think this is probably more what I was talking about, like more fairish value. It's a sugar rush stock that will probably continue to do well. But once you get through 345, 346, then you're talking about 380. So there's going to be a lot of market participation in this phase up to this phase. So this 380 level could be hit again. This is the zone that I'm looking at for a breakout, and everything here on the price action side looks fine for Lululemon. Kevin says, honey, why are you crying? Look at this iron ore. Oh, I'm crying because it's so beautiful, man. It's so beautiful. Let me just show you. Let me show you the iron ore. So in Australia, we have brown dirt, guys. Okay, I know, amazing. You've probably seen videos of it. Brown dirt, Crocodile Dundee, all sorts of, crocodiles, brown dirt, kangaroos, drop bears. It's true, by the way. If you drive, sometimes you can be walking in a forest, bear just gets on you, just drops straight on your head. I'm not kidding, guys. It happens. It happens. Giant spiders, snakes. I mean, Australia's a great country. But one of the things we have is we have brown dirt. So the brown dirt's going really well right now. 133 on Rio today. Now, there's a few reasons why this is happening. One of them is, of course, our budget is very stimulus-y, and also just demand is huge. And we've been talking about materials being one of the sectors. Let me bring on a chart for you guys to talk about this upper-sized kind of market momentum. By the way, community, what do you prefer? Do you prefer we go purely just trading stuff, or do you like this kind of more top-down approach, my thought process and the thought process of, also your collective opinions over the next 3 months, 6 months, 12 months? Do you like a bit of a mixture of it, or do you not like this stuff at all? I mean, this interests me, but maybe it doesn't interest you. So here we have our 1 year chart. Let me bring this across so it looks a little bit bigger. And this is actually what's been performing over the last 1 year. So 1 year. Now, remember, we are past the worst of the pandemic now. So this is actually what's recovered most over the last year. And it's interesting to think that financials are the number one investment. Who would have thought that financials were the number one investment? Over here, we were talking about materials being a good investment. And in November, we were talking about financials. But it's amazing that they've just absolutely crushed it. They've crushed it, but even more than I thought they'd crush it. Materials, however, have been a better pick, and we're definitely in a super cycle. There is no question in my mind that these materials will not hold up, just like every single other time. I've traded this market since the GFC. I remember studying all the previous super cycles, and it sucks. They always do this. Yeah, to the moon, and then it's all over, and it will be exactly the same again. Believe me, it always is. Now, when does it end? Could it be December? Could it be January? I think you got to look at shipping around the world. You got to look at shipping costs. I don't believe that we're going to be able to fly around the world anytime as soon as everyone else thinks they will be. So I still think materials will underpin a lot of government spending. Look at large economies' government spend. See where they're spending money. If it's on infrastructure, that's why infrastructure is also doing so well. Now, let's talk about the sectors that suck right now, because we want to find the sleeper hits. So we still think energy is good. For a little bit. We still think materials is good for a little bit. I don't care about financials anymore. I'm done. I'm over with financials. Most people are using what's called a sold covered call strategy to even buy financials now. So they're like, okay, we buy them, but we're going to put a cover on them straight away because we believe that the return over the next 12 months is less than maybe 10%, and they're able to get 10% or 8% or 9% just from the cover itself. So it's like, yeah, we want to own the stock, we like it, but we also think it should be like this. So there's probably a capping there. Then you got your technology, and I want to say XLV. I want to say healthcare. Now, healthcare is a mid-cycle stock sector index, but it's always good, always beats inflation. It is not doing as well as people expect. Now, if we look at a 3-year chart, even then, healthcare is not doing that amazingly. So you can see here where healthcare was, 32%, then now 61%. So in comparison to the rest of the market, it hasn't really grown that much. And in fact, it wasn't growing in that late cycle as much as I thought either. So this could be the sleeper one. Utilities, I'm less interested in. But very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. Trade ideas. Larger watch list with top down. Yeah, we could probably increase the watch list, I think. Yeah, always thinking of new ideas here on the channel. So let's go over the broad market. Let's have a look at what actually is running into today and talk about trade opportunities. So Trade Desk just got beaten down 10.95% in the pre here. Let me just quickly click that. Yeah, that's the pre, 10.8% down. Welcome to the 1,500 viewers for Monday as well. Thank you so much for joining us. We're talking about the stock market open right now. We've gone through crypto. If you're interested in crypto, scroll back the first 15 minutes. We covered it in some good detail. Shibuya, of course, I think that move is almost over, but very cool that it's got the Binance sugar rush on it right now. So let's talk about some of these markets. So Trade Desk is down pretty hard. Not a stock I own, not a stock I'm too interested in. Facebook down, could be an opportunity soon actually in Facebook. We'll talk about that. And then from the positive side, we've got Toyota out with 1.46. We've got CrowdStrike, obviously cybersecurity moving forward here, and Coinbase also doing okay. Now, I think Coinbase is kind of at that zone where people could dip in. So Coinbase is really, really close. And is it overpriced? Yeah, probably by most metrics. But they could have a very good first earnings because everyone's in crypto now. And I expect the hype to continue moving forward. So let's think about it. If we get BTC through 60, what is Coinbase going to do? It's going to run with it. What's going to happen if BTC goes crazy? Let's say we get one last cycle and Ethereum's running up here. If we get one last push in BTC, is Coinbase going to move with it? It's a risky trading opportunity based on what you're seeing in the coin market. So if you're a stock fan, is that one of the best? Like, is that better than trading the Maras or the Riots or something like that? I think yes. I don't think it's a question in my mind. I would rather trade Coinbase over those two. But yeah, that's definitely an opportunity here. We'll see AMC's coming up to the 10 until it gets past 10. That's not really too interesting. Tilray, Zemedia, Nokia, okay, whatever. Go down here, Oxygen, Palantir, of course, showing weakness still through the session. So let's have a look back over to the screener. Go to the greens again. Have a quick look through those. Okay. So I know where some of these stocks are. So I'll load into a few of them once we do the super chats. And yeah, all right. No worries. We'll go back over. Also, congratulations to some of the people that took X the other day. The steel breakout. Wow. Amazing. Amazing trading here. Thank you very much for the super chats on X as well. It's been very, very nice. 24.87, and now we're trading at 28.57. That's a very nice return. So thank you for the super chats. I actually missed this one, but I didn't miss it all, so I'm very happy with you. Mark Crate super chat at $4.99. Can you take a look at the crypto store, Jace? Surely can, Mark. We'll do it in just a few moments. And then we've got Rob Wostkin becoming a member, joining us in the Diamond Hands community. Thank you so much, Rob. Appreciate your support. Welcome, welcome. And make sure you get into the Discord community, !Discord, and you'll be able to access the public Discord, then sync it with your YouTube subscription, and you should see some magic rooms. Go and make sure to check out Tom's weekly hangout discussion, because I think there's some good stuff in there today, guys. So make sure you go watch that video, obviously in the private community. All right, what else is going on here? So X is good. The steel company is still moving through. Was better here, but it's still looking all right. And we got a question here for Doge. So before we go into the rest of the market, let's just quickly have a look here at Doge. Ooh, that is a bad looking candle, eh? Not what you want. Not what you want. That is a nasty candle. So I can really see why you might have gotten into it. Let's have a look at the 4 hour here. So it was a series of kind of like lower highs, regardless of how you look at it. Then you got the breakout, which could be actually a false breakout. Let's have a look at the 8 hour. So the 8 hour even broke through. Yeah, you needed to turn around right now. So this Doge, it's closed above, then instantly hit the resistance in the close and then sold off straight away. I mean, good news is you've got a bit of support behind it. So that's good news. But I don't particularly like what it did. So I think it could, unfortunately, come back down here first and then move on through and move on up. That's a bit unfortunate on this Doge. Yeah, that daily was horrible, wasn't it? Daily close, full-on rejection candle. Get back above the 223 and you're looking more positive. For now, though, it's looking bearish into the 1.80, and you're probably not going to like that. So I hope it turns around right now for you and moves up and through. Thank you for the donation. Exclamation mark Discord. Thank you very much, Calvin. You definitely did activate it. Also in Discord, we've got like a ranking bot now. And if you want to find out some of the brokers and tools that we like, you can type in, I think it's like exclamation mark broker, and it will give you all those links somewhere in the chat. Okay, let's move over now to what's going on in some of the markets, and we'll talk about some of the stocks that I've been looking at recently. This is not particularly one that I've been covering, other than for you guys, but I will show Tesla off. Let's just have a quick talk about whether we can even understand what the hell's going on here. I think Tesla's still stuck in our little support range. It's trying its hardest to hold the demon number, 666. You can see pre-market at 667.98. If it does hold up, then possibly we get past about 700. We can move then to the 720, and I still think nothing's changed from that perspective. If Tesla gets underneath this zone and we see sell-off, closure underneath, pull up, then another sell-off new low, so maybe under here, we're going all the way to 600 town. So this does look very weak on the charts, and I think it's one of the things that could be driving the market down. Tesla must hold this level at all costs, otherwise things start to weaken, and you can even see that in the price action. It's just not looking great. Let's move over to a few stocks that are doing, I guess, a little bit better. So of course, anything in materials is doing well. Why is that? Because you look at things like copper futures and they're just flying high. And we followed copper heavily down here, of course, to try to figure out recovery. And we decided that everything was looking really, really great. And since then, copper has just gone insane. It's gone insane. Look at it. 397. No, not even then. Sorry, it was 350. That's right. 350 all the way to 486. This really shows you again that we are in a super cycle boom in materials. There's no way that we are not in a super cycle boom. And as an Australian, I like to think that we can tell a super cycle for metals, because that's what we do. So materials are just insane. Like that will keep running too, but it will blow off and it will be brutal. So please be prepared for holding investments only for a time, and you need to make that decision. Or of course you can subscribe and we'll talk about the opportunities there. But yeah, copper's out of control. It's approaching that magical 5. This thing is higher than it has been in a very long time. You can see the highs in 11. It has crushed those recently, and notice how those highs acted as resistance again. That's why there was a lot of conjecture here. Bang, onto the next level. It's madness. It's madness. Yeah, I was using Coifin before. It's a good free one there. It's definitely good. What does FXE think of coffee and soft commodities lately? Mark, you know how to kill me, man. Coffee and soft commodities. Well, firstly, I hate soft commodities with a passion. I don't trade them because they're too expensive. When you get rolled on or you get a piece of news that comes out, you can get messed up in trading these. Now, I don't know if any of these particular coffee futures are any good. So I'll just quickly go over to finviz.com. So we'll go to finviz.com. We'll have a quick look there and I'll show you where things are at. So here's all of this is just a quick like screener of some of the big ones. So you can see platinum, palladium, both looking pretty strong. I think both of these have opportunity in them. Then you scroll through and you'll notice that there's coffee at 150, 160. So it's already had a very large breakout. Now, if we actually break down this chart and you think about where it's been over the years, I traded, here's an example, all right? I traded coffee at $100. And you'd think, oh, Tom, you must be up so much money from trading coffee at $100. And the answer is actually holding coffee. It's a very small trade, but I've held coffee since over here, I think. And how much, I'll put it to you guys. How much do you think it's eaten? So we bought it at $100. And how much do you think the contract has eaten where it's now at 151 for holding a contract? It's actually a very interesting cycle of where this kind of contract can beat the crap out of you. So say you bought here. How much do you think this contract, actually I might have bought here. Yeah, say I bought here and held this thing for so long. How much do you think that would cost? You guys tell me. I love coffee and I love the concept of buying at $100 too, because when you look at a monthly chart, you think, it's just too easy. Just buy it at $100. Well, the answer is, guys, 38%. That's right. 38%. And we're not talking 38% backwards. We're talking about 38% full forwards. So that means that you're only up about $10 on that trade from holding it through that time. So if you go to trade this, and this is just a warning for people, don't be prepared to hold this and think you're doing well. It's like the VIX. If you ever load up the VIX and you see a VIX ETF, it's just constant losses. Constant losses. Because you have to get in and out and trade it. If you try to hold a soft, you'll get messed up. It's the way the system works. It's nasty out there. So, yep, I don't really feel that strongly about these coffee or anything, but if you're looking at it on a monthly and say you wanted to trade this type of one, yeah, look, you've got a 180. This breakout is significant that happened over here, and that's the way you trade it. That's the breakout. You'd take it long. You'd have a couple of months of suckiness. It's 151 now, 180, 200, and then 300 all become open. I think that 200 is quite likely actually on coffee, but look, there is a cost of doing business in these types of coins. So we're at 10:57 my time. We're about 33 minutes off the market. Thank you so much to the 1,517 viewers out there. Appreciate all of you. Franklin Matthew says, you need to help us price options. I have no clue. I'll give you a first clue. Implied volatility. Okay? Implied volatility. Implied volatility. That is really the most important thing to determine whether an option is value or not. The other thing is if you're trading a high implied volatility options market, okay, so it sounds like you guys are pretty interested in options. Let me actually do a poll with the community on options. You guys want to do a poll? Let's do a poll. Because it sounds like I think a lot of people are interested in options. And this is what happened after the GFC. I remember everyone went from trading stock and then they traded Forex and they were like, I want to trade options, man. I want to do some options. One second, I'm just doing this. All right, here we go. We're creating a poll. Excuse the English. We'll share it. I'm going to vote. I would love if you guys voted. Help me out here. I'll click this one. Okay, here we go. I'll share that right now. Guys, fill this one in if you can for me. Donkin Dave, I'm taking on your suggestion. I know in the video comments, I read the comments. I don't love every comment, but I do read most of them. And I get back to as many as I can. So you guys are voting right now. Thank you so much. Keep voting. Vote faster. I think I might have triggered a lot of you to voting into option strategy, but anyway, we'll see. Let's have a look. Let's watch the votes come in, and I'll spam it a few more times. Hey, that person that's making coffee, come back to the computer, guys. Click the vote. Click the vote. It does help us out. So we've got option strategy out in the lead. Crypto's dying. Don't kill crypto on me. Forex, 8 votes. We never cover Forex on this channel, but that's all right. Probably should put metals there. Forex can be metals. Options, Amen says. Yeah, you guys are loving options. Look at it go. Well, thank you for the votes. It looks like options is going to absolutely stonk it, which is good. Hey, I love options. It's actually my speciality. My number one thing that I do, someone asked me the other day, what do? We trade options, man. That's what we do. We trade covers. We trade sold nakeds, but with the idea of buying a stock later. Hey, it's a great strategy. It's a great strategy. Let's say I wanted something. Let's say I liked Pfizer, okay? So Pfizer, oh, that's not what I want. Pfizer. So let's say I want to buy Pfizer. Now, Pfizer's not a bad stock. Arguably, one of the better vaccines. Probably the one that I would rather take. I don't know why. I just kind of feel like it's not bad. Now, $39.80 currently in price. This particular stock, let's say I want to own a healthcare stock like this, and I wanted to say, okay, I'd love to own this stock, but, you know, I kind of feel like it's going to be stuck here for some time. Well, you've got a couple of opportunities. Let's say you thought, I'd love to own this and I want to own it to the end of the year. Your positive case scenario is you're going to take profit at 42.56. Do you know how many different strategies you can use to trade Pfizer? You could use buy the actual stock, then cover it with a long dated call. Now, most of you out there are all about that 1 week option juice, okay? But that's not always going to be the way that you can trade. 1 week is not going to be like fast enough in the market to get it off. It's just not going to be fast enough. So you might say, okay, I want to buy this. This is slow and steady wins the race. And you buy the stock and you cover it directly at the money. But you do so on some highly volatile day, okay? So you already want to buy the stock. But imagine if the stock's going up, down, all around, and you go to implied volatility, and the implied volatility is risen to a level that you're happy with because the market is volatile. Then you buy the stock and you cover that stock up straight away. What are you going to get? You're going to get a huge amount of premium because you're selling the stock on your covered position. Now, that's a big kind of game. That's where you need a lot of money. The other solution is that you might want to own Pfizer, but you can't afford it right now. And you might say, well, I think it's going here over a certain period of time. You could put a spread in over here. That you never put a spread. People are stupid sometimes. They put spread here. They go, I'm bull call spread. And they buy it here. Why would you buy it there, guys? You're going to pay huge premium. Your advantage or your thought process using TA is that you want it to go here. So why would you? So maybe you'd put a spread out of the money up here, and your ratio for return will be way higher because you're big brain and you're looking at a level that is different to what everyone else is thinking. So does Pfizer look strong on a chart regardless? I think it does. I think it looks pretty strong up to the 42.56. This also has a huge amount of big guys buying it. I mean, big psychos. Yeah, I said one. Yes, that's right. Verified news. I'm saying that 1 week isn't long enough. So 1 week is not long enough in the options world. You will get it wrong too much, and you'll get options weeklies were only really created to destroy us. PFE is so big at why it doesn't move. Yeah, PFE is big and it doesn't move that way. But of course, with Pfizer, I'm just saying with any stock, they're not going to move that much. Pfizer and these older stocks, these bigger boomer stocks, as some of you would call them, these are perfect options candidates because you can take high quality technical analysis. You can create a little zone that you're looking to extract value from. Okay. And you don't need much of a move to extract maximum value. This is what happens when the market cools down. You're going to have to take very big advantages. And we will do a training session on these live stuff. We'll do training. We'll have Tom's training tips, or whatever the hell I call it. And it will be like a 10-minute segment that we'll do once a week or twice a week or whatever. And I'll chop them up and I'll put them on YouTube. as part of the tutorials. That's right, Sherlock Holmes, big brain. That's what we're going to be doing. You guys like that idea? You guys like that idea? Hopefully, yes. Mindset is key with trading. Don't trade off emotions, people, and no chasing. That's right. Look, right now, the market's totally different to where it's going to be in 6 months' time. The market's still hyper. It's still moving pretty quick, but we're already starting to see a slowdown in stocks. And you guys are getting bored by a lot of that, and you're moving over to the crypto market. It's about understanding that there is a way of extracting maximum value from this stock, which looks boring in principle, and getting it. So, yeah. Smart traders are the sellers of the weeklies. Buying those are crapshoot, says Joseph Whitlock. Yeah, you can even be a smart... That's the banks, though. I think the better thing is actually to sell the long date. So sometimes selling fairly long date and bringing in pretty good premium can be good. And looking at highly volatile stocks, like I'll give you an example on that Rio before. So I know for a fact, because I did it, that Rio down here at 110, let's say you wanted to, was it 115 or something? Around this level here, you were able to buy Rio. And yes, I know it's how much it's gone up, but you were able to buy Rio and you were able to sell Augusts with a guaranteed cover return of about, I think it was about 9%. Now, for some people, they'll say, oh, but Tom, it went more than 9%. Dum-dum. It did, but the point is you were getting a guaranteed cover return. So if you want to do it that way, you can sometimes get a stock or a sector that's sitting right now that you want to be in, let's say healthcare, and you could put a cover on that and get a guaranteed return on that with your cover, with your covered call, most important, while you wait. If it goes, it goes. You still made money. Did you make as much as you could have? Maybe not, but you still made money. And then if it just covers off and it doesn't sell for as much, you can keep the stock, etc., etc., etc. Can you do it with CFDs? No, you can't, Lucas. Your CFDs, well, I mean, maybe some broker lets you do it. I don't know. As far as I know, you can't. But yeah, CFDs, you would be taking a leverage and then covering the leverage. Effectively, you might as well just do it the other way. At FX Evolution, Tom, is premium good for beginners? Oh, you mean options premium? No. It's too dangerous. Basically, what you're doing is you're uncapping. If you cap it, then yes. The way that it's good for beginners is actually doing one of the most dangerous contracts, and that is to buy the stock using a sold put. So let's say you wanted to hold, or we won't use Tesla as an example. What will we use? Tesla would be a very bad example. Let's say you want to hold Disney, okay? So you go, I like the stock. And hey, you should be starting to get a little bit keen on Disney as well, guys. Might be a sleeper here a little bit. Remember, Disney is down from its tops of 202 after that sugar rush. We're going to basically sell out our entire Star Wars division and Marvel division. And I still think it's got some strong numbers in it. And it's 8% off the top. So let's say you want to buy Disney and you said, look, I want to buy the stock at whatever, 180, but I missed 180 and I want to buy it at 184. You could do, let's say you want to buy 100 units of it. You could do one contract and you could sell it. And if you sold that one contract, it would give you a premium and you could pick the timing that you want to hold it for. That sold contract. Now, of course, if Disney is at 150, you have to take the stock at the time of expiry. You should probably know that. You have to take the stock if you get hit. However, you will have made a percentage on that. So if you like the stock and you don't quite like that price, but you like the price down here, you could just sell a contract on it, sell a put on it, but you only sell it for what you're going to cash own. And it's all about having that cash there. Where people go mistaken here is they go, oh, that looks delicious. I'm going to sell at 180. It's not going under 180. Never. Why would it go under 180? No way it goes under 180. And they do that a few times, and then one of them goes through because they get greedier and greedier, and it explodes their account out backwards margin, and they lost the house. That's actually what can happen. So it's all about cash vetting your positions and building it that way. Singapore, $5. Hey, Tom, can we have a look at BNTX? BNTX announced a new regional headquarters in SG. Sure. BioNTech. Oh, this is the one that we've been watching go up and down quite a lot. announced a new regional headquarters in SG. So BioNTech was a very strong market mover that probably hyperextended too much. I mean, it went from $92 biotechnology company up to $212, then all the way back to $145. And now, I mean, what a roller coaster. Now it's one trading at $198. Market capitalization is $44 billion. So you can see how big that breakout really was. Oh, I mean, the stock clearly hyperextended. It's got news on it today that's giving it the juice. The earnings came out, if I remember, on this. Did earnings come out on this BioNTech stock? 30th? Went up. Yeah, there was some news announcement. I can't remember what it was. Oh, that was a phenomenal drop. Like 31% followed by a full pickup. Oh, I don't know, dude. It's very volatile. And because it's so volatile, it's very unreadable. I mean, this is only a 4-hour chart. You can see the damage it's doing each way. So I guess the way I look at it is this is not easy to trade. It's already large. You have to trade it fundamentally because if you look at that from a TA perspective, it's unreadable. How can you read such a thing? I mean, is this a new breakout to a new high, to a high above this? Sure. Is there been a pullback fully in this? No. Is it stable? Not at all. It's trading off fundamental news, so you have to trade it that way. This is an example where I would not use technicals because technicals aren't going to help you in this situation. They're just not. We've got 20 minutes? 19 minutes till market open. So very, very close here to the Monday market open, guys. We'll start to dial it in just a few seconds. Yeah, I think this is a chart that you can't really use technicals on, but because it gapped below, then it gapped above, it does have some strong buy sentiment. And that could be because maybe it's fundamentally cheap. Do the fundamentals on this one as much as possible. As much as possible. BNTX earnings today, they are good. Yep. Okay. But even at 7.99%, they have to be damn good. So put it all back on the hype. I don't know. It's not technical. It's not technical. I like technical. Okay. Is BioNTech the vaccine company? Highly corrupt market participant you need to keep away, says Daniel Polk. I'm not sure. I don't own this one, so I really, really don't know that. No evil corpse like Monsanto, please. Okay. Bradley Back says, sold my ZOM at close and kind of regret it, but it feels like it's got to test the average soon. I'm not sure what the pipeline is going to do. Yeah, I think that the ZOM being Exxon is still looking okay. So I think most of the steel companies, everything like that, they're all breaking out. They're all, if you're in it, it's good. And what I'm kind of looking at now is, can we break down healthcare companies and try to find some value in healthcare? Because I think healthcare is probably the sector that's probably the biggest sleeper on it right now. So if you have a look at, like, say, CRISPR, this is obviously therapeutics company, so most of these are not doing well. But this is right on support. Now, do we believe in this biotech? This is obviously a Cathie Wood kind of play. It'll be interesting to see how that holds up. But there are other big healthcare companies that you can look at that aren't so speculative. Speaking of Cathie Wood, which a lot of people are sick of now, let's have a quick look at what she's been buying recently, because it's very interesting purchases last week. And I found it interesting anyway. So she sold out at more Baidu. She bought more DKNG. Okay. And then she bought more Skills, and then she bought more TDOC somewhere in here as well. So she's been doubling down on the TDOC. So if you were to think about like where TDOC is this the time that you catch a falling knife? Well, I would say no, technically, because I want to see breakout. I want to see some lightning bolt action, but it's very interesting level. 150, 105, you can see it's boring as, but she also bought a lot of Skills. So some people say this earnings was good. Some people say it was bad. I think if you deep dive into it, some of the guys in the private did this. Clem did it. I don't think it was as good as people thought. On surface, it looked good, and there was some very questionable kind of things with the accounting. So yeah. Kevin says XBI is a healthcare that you might want to watch. This is the biotechnology. I totally agree with you, man. I totally agree with you. Yeah, I totally agree with you, eh? XBI is good. Biotechnology ETF index, I assume, or very similar to index. This one an index, Kevin? I don't own this one, but it looks kind of like the CRISPR chart. It looks just like the CRISPR chart. Yeah, I mean, I'm on that that kind of bandwagon of thinking about this type of thing. I think it's an underappreciated sector right now. It's hated. Nasty Wall Street hates it. It's a mid-cycle, so usually healthcare always holds well, but usually healthcare comes back into the fray about 2 years, kind of like 2.0 years after the crash recovery. So if we say March, then that would be next March it becomes really hot. Now, are we ever going to get our timings correct? Not exactly. But yeah, XBI is right on support, and you can see it just kind of broke down, then quickly recovered. This is the biotechnology ETF, so it's a very interesting kind of area. I think all of these are good. XLV, another healthcare sector. Yep, well, XLV is the one we always cover. So it's another sector that if you can get into, can be interesting. Now, you'll notice this one is different. So this is the standard healthcare sector. Let's put it in perspective. Go to the weekly. So you can see it is really growing here. And it's the biotech that's keeping it behind. So 106 to 124. Still a little bit behind some of the other things that have been moving. And it had been relatively flat, as I said, from 18. So all the way from 2018, the actual movement in healthcare was not that much. So it could be that grinding slightly higher. And biotech is the crazy version of this, really. Zed Channel says TDoc is okay. Yeah, TDoc just needs to sit there. Take a look at Apps Digital Turbine if you can. We've got Eka Aurora coming in with a $2 donation. TA on WDC, mate. Thanks a lot. WDC, Western Digital. Wow, I used to sell the hard drives for this company. You know, they kind of like completely fell off the planet. Let me have a look at the weekly here. Let me go back in time when I used to sell hard drives for them. Back over here. They used to be the bee's knees. I remember they owned over here. They were owning. And then they, of course, had that second own time when they did well. And God, they go through some serious boom busts, don't they? All right, so I totally know why you're looking at this, and I appreciate, Eka, your donation, because I think it's a great one for the community to see here. This is a very cool resistance level, and I like what you're doing. You're obviously taking a lot of the course and the kind of teachings that we talk about in this channel a lot into consideration here. Huge amounts of wick rejections, very important, shows accumulation. You can also see there's a sneaky volume here. Why is there so much sneaky volume? Probably earnings or something, but there's a lot of sneaky volume there. Then we have a big rejection here that's come through. Let's have a look now down into the daily. And there was the earnings. So the earnings did nothing, but it did, of course, create a huge amount of volume the next day. Is it the next day? Yeah, 29th. And then the next day, there was a ton of volume. I think this is looking keen for a breakout. And when we go back over to the weekly, where is the ceiling? Not bad. Probably like a 95, maybe 100. Yeah, nice, dude. Love the coil. I love the coil a lot. I'm actually going to take the coil distance right now. I'm going to take the support, even though we saw it a little bit different on the other time frame, and extrapolate that out quickly. So that's calling an 84, but I think there's a lot more in it. It's like 90 plus easily. Very cool chart. Great amount of coil. Once it breaks through that 73, gets a new high, I think it's already kind of trying to boost through. Go to the monthly here. Have a look at the monthly candles. Yep, long leg doji last month. So, of course, if this one comes through strong as well, you're going to get further breakout. And you could easily see like a 90, I mean, maybe conservatively like a 93. Cool chart, man. Double bottom. Even the full distance. What's the full distance say? It improves pretty well too. There could be even more in this trade. Nice. I'd go do some fundamental research on it now, Eka. Go check that out right now. And then share it with me in the community. Do it now. Midgely. Welcome to the Diamond Hands. Thank you so much, Midgely. I tell you what, Midgie means mosquito in Australia. And I read that and I kind of went, ooh, damn. Make sure to, of course, !Discord, get into the community and make sure to synchronize your YouTube and your Diamond Hands membership. Gilliam Parent coming in with the Canadian $2.79 donation. Could TAP be going back to $100? Ah, man, TAP is becoming popular. 59.54. So TAP, Molson Coors, beverage company, breaking through here off its earnings. Pretty strong earnings as well from the look of it. A couple of things that this thing is doing. Number one thing it's doing is it has, of course, those new Topo Chico drinks. It also has the Rocks energy drink. And it has the distribution, of course, for Topo Chico, which comes from Coke, which is strange. I think if that's a big success, plus all its seltzers. Now, I don't drink seltzers or hard seltzers or whatever you guys might. I know in America, they're very big. They're over here as well, like spritzers and all these types of things. So Molson Coors, yes, I do believe it's going to do much better. And it makes logical sense. You get openings and you go back to pubs and you go back to drinking out, and that includes beverages, and they're doing the right steps finally with a very strong distribution brand. So I think it could move back pretty hard. $100 might be a big stretch. That's back to the glory days in 16. But yeah, it's looking really great, and I could see it doing some good numbers here. This is the type of thing that you can get behind with this breakout that's just occurred and say, okay, this could go quite a lot further. Now, I was following TAP about a month ago, and yeah, it's still looking pretty good. Nothing wrong with TAP, other than the company made huge mistakes in the past, and that burnt them. So hopefully it can continue on. Looks strong. Gareth Evans, $2. Please take a look at Monsanto. Really? Monsanto? I thought we weren't meant to be looking at this. As in the dead stock. Marcel Marza, Ron, $10. Hey mate, crisp please. Okay, we'll do crisp. So we've got 8 minutes here. Nasdaq. Let's have a look at what's going on with crisp. So crisp is right at support, like the biotechnology that we saw before. This is exactly the same kind of area of support. It looks exactly the same as the biotechnology index. You've got a really nice channel that's forming here, and it has to hold this zone. Now, if CRISPR can hold this zone, is there some pretty good returns here in this sector? Yes, you would think it's about 106% upside from where it went to last year. Remember, a lot of this move happened through that November into January period. So biotechnology went absolutely insane. It went hyperactive all the way to the start of January and then fell straight back off. So is this a support area? Yes. Do we buy just randomly on this area? I think we need a little bit more. We need a little bit more. And it's going to be somewhere like that type of movement. We want to see a little lightning bolt on a smaller time frame down here. Now, are we going to take a daily? Probably don't need that much. Are we going to take like a 4 hour? Maybe a snap of this 114 would be really nice. And then that will lead into a movement back to the 136. And this is the type of thing where you can be looking at this and you could say, is there an option strategy here for you as well? Because I definitely think there could be some option strategies that you could build around this concept. Obviously, you'll need to do that research. I won't share that with you today. But yeah, there's some stuff here that could be quite cool. And CRISPR is, yeah, it's got opportunity in it. It's right at the support. It needs to break back above the 114. And that's where you're going to see that strength that leads it back to the 136. And if it gets through the 136, you take the entire distance, extrapolate that out, and that takes you to 165, which makes perfect sense with resistance, support, 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 resistance. Very cool. Very, very cool. We'll quickly go through the markets here coming in. So we're about to reach through the markets. We've got here US 100 down 0.46%. did have those 2 4-hour rejections we spoke about in the weekend video. Remember to subscribe, hit that like button as well, guys, if you've been enjoying things. And yeah, it is looking like it's starting off a little bit weak. I'm going to be looking at the NDX and looking at the first probably little part of the session. So maybe the first 2 hours would be what I was looking at. The first 1 hour, I want to see a confirmation close underneath this level, and that could lead to further sell-off coming through. Now, if that's what happens, sure. But yeah, it has to be that it continues on and confirm closes. That's looking weak. Now, at the same time, the Nasdaq, I don't think the SP500 is looking that strong either. Even after its sugar rush of bad jobs numbers suddenly means gloriousness and the market's going to push. Why would they I don't reckon they'll stimulate it anymore. Why do they need to stimulate the economy anymore and use all the bullets? Now, if you said that to the Australian government would be like, what? They're aiming for even more employment because now they're allowed to spend as much as they want. Why not just do it on their watch? They don't get in trouble and it's all easy. So yeah, governments are being reckless with the spending. Reckless. They're spending in the wrong areas, and I'm sure many of you will agree with that. And on top of that, they're giving too much stimulus to the market too quickly, which is basically creating a sugar pill that pushes it through for now. That's just my opinion. Exactly. That's just my opinion. QQQ trapped between the 10 and the 15-minute 50, says Kevin. Yeah, it's really trapped. IWM, the Russell 2000, also pretty hard to read right now. Is it at a resistance? Yeah, it's at this little miniature resistance we've had before, which is around that 226-ish area. What is this, 225.80? If it breaks through there again, we might go to 229. And then, yeah, we'll just have to see what happens here. So let's go through the market. We'll break it down to a 4-screener again, as we always do. Guys, vote now in the chat community. Let me know what you would like to see coming into this market open. I think we're going to have the US 100 for sure. I think we will have probably the biggest mover of the day. I think that's a new thing we should do. So let's watch TTD Trade Desk coming into today. Unfortunately, if someone's in that one, it's not doing too well. So we'll watch this on a 5-minute chart. And of course, as we always need, it's Monday, guys. We're already getting a little tired. I think we need some hype. So thank you for the 1,398 viewers. Let's just quickly scroll through here, get this intro playing. Intro number 9, new one coming tomorrow, thanks to you. Remember, post your memes in the chat in Discord, ! Discord, and get in there now. Let's do it. We have to skip through a little bit because we're a bit late. Yeah, Rocktopus, we did Zom just before. URA seems to get some fanciness. PLTR. XLE, says Armin. That 1850 mic. Alrighty, there we go, guys. We've witnessed the hype. We are 2 minutes off market open. It looks like you guys have voted and the votes are in, and we have some strange picks. We've got PLTR. Okay. Looks like PLTR's made it somehow. We'll go down to a 15-minute for PLTR. I've put the trade desk on because it's moving the most in the pre. See that? That 570 is where the trade desk is. And then the other one, what is it going to be? In phase, AMC, URA, or Tesla. WDC has the crypto element to it, says Alpha T. Hey, it's a good break. That's the good resistance right there. Okay, we'll go with gold. I think that's probably going to win out. Gold 1844 right now. Silver 2778. Some nice moves. Here we go, guys. We're about to get into the Monday market open. I will play... Oh, no, I won't. There we go. I'll play the bell. Congratulations for getting through to Monday. Here we go, guys. I'm ready. My eyes are peeled back. And we're about to see this US 100 open. We're off to the races. Johnny Knoxville says, I'm not selling ZOM till there's a new president. No need to. All right, Johnny, good luck. 1930 here on the open for Palantir. We see a 570. Wait. Oh, there's Palantir's open. Okay, 1917. So we have this stock is open. The trade desk, 565. There's the first tick of trade. People probably couldn't quite believe how low it would go. Gold is still moving up. We'll scroll through here. Squares down. Net's down quite a lot, 3.23%. So all of the Nasdaq is down here. US 100, 13,640. It is looking weak here into the open. Let's just put that in perspective by going to the NDX so you can see really where it is opening. If it's going to hold, it needs to hold here. It needs to hold here and now. So it does look weak, which is kind of our suspicion. Will the rest of the session pull up? I'm not so sure about that. Let's now go through what is up and down in the big tech. So we've got BioNTech with the news. Supposedly it's good. We've got Coinbase coming up with a 268. So they actually reached our 250, 260 zone, which we knew would be a buy area. If you're bullish on crypto still and you're in the stock market, Coinbase still could be an opportunity there. I think it's getting to that zone where you're going to see some fund managers pick it up and trade it through. Remember, it's going to trade mostly with Bitcoin power. So it's not about the other coins. It's just about if you believe Bitcoin's going through 60, Coinbase will go up on that news. I really feel like Coinbase is going to move with BTC price the most. It's probably where they make the most of their money. SEA, cool. It's actually not bad for it to be down for me. 4%. It's a pretty cool stock. I think it's overpriced, but it's a pretty cool stock. Square down 2.52, a little bit sad. Snowflake down 2.38. So all of the hyper stocks down, and we'll move over to the speculation positions. Percentage moves here. AMC 5.3, 5.2% up at 10. Needs to get a 10 close before it can go bullish. So it needs to get 10 close. 10.02, 10.03 is not going to do it. We want a closure on a significant time frame, not just like a 1 minute, 5 minute chart, nothing like that. Sundial up 2%, and then if we scroll over to the other side, we've got Palantir now getting beaten down. And unfortunately, this is probably head of the news that may not be so good. Palantir wasn't cheap on book value, and for it to be under 20 now, we talked about that level. So that's why it's getting beaten. You have to hope, if you're in Palantir, if you haven't sold it, that they come back with some strong information. We also got Peloton down 2.74%. Now, I believe Peloton was also picked back up by Kathy Wood, if I can remember rightly. I don't get that stock. I don't get it. Peloton is a little sad. Oh, no. Palantir, Peloton. All the P's. All the P's. Sarah Jane says, net. Yeah. But net should be down. Like, effectively it hit that 80, whatever it was, and then when it hit that 85 or whatever the price was, it basically hit a key resistance level. Then it sold off from there. So it makes some sense. We also know that earnings doesn't tend to perform that well in earnings. So look, I was a big fan of net, but it hit that zone. It was pretty good. If you're a trade, I still believe in its long-term capabilities though. Airbnb around the 150. And then Apple. So it looks like we're going for a bit of a weak day in the Nasdaq. The rest of the markets, is it coming with it? Yep, the rest of the market is coming with it on a Monday. Remember, the first hour of trade, guys, means nothing. I actually think this is a fairly difficult day to trade right now because we have these mixed signals in the markets. I do believe, though, we have much easier signals coming up if the markets want to go bearish. So if the US 100, 500 wants to go bearish, or the 100 wants to go bearish, there are signals where it goes bearish. 13.4 break under. That's going to be very negative to the markets. And then, of course, US 500, we know where that one is. For today, it's pretty much just a bust under these lows here. But for the bigger time frame, it's 41.20. 41.20 is going to be where the bears really take control of this market. Okay, guys. Well, I think we've gotten to the market open. Remember, go back, watch over the video. We cover most of the markets here today. And I'll be joining you tomorrow for, of course, another live market session, 1.5 hours before the pre-market. I've got to go and make some quick trades here. So I will see you probably tomorrow, either during a live session or our daily recap video. Remember, subscribe, hit that like, and as always, see you tomorrow. And remember, trade responsibly whenever possible. Thanks for the donations today and the new members, 168. Thank you so much. Truly Messiah says, stop crying over, no crying, man. Just big day, big day, big day.